Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kinney.
And we're going to talk about what the village council is doing, the planning commission, and what the township planning commission, all those figures out there that are putting ordinances on that you may not know about.
But you elected these people, or they appointed these commissions, so you better pay attention.
Yes, because they're using your money.
Oh!
Not yours, you're from Brandon.
That's true.
Yeah, they can all use all the money they want.
Can you
over
spell
Brandon.
scot-free?
That's a Scottish word? Scot-free?
Who knows?
I don't think it's scot-free. Anyway, let's talk about the Oxford Township Board of Trustees. Now, this is the township, and Bill Dunn is the chairperson.
Bill Dunn is the chairperson, Joe Ferrari is the treasurer, and Curtis Wright is the clerk.
Very good. You get a A+ today.
Oh, thank you. Can
Yeah.
we go to the next tier?
Yeah. It's good to know that Curtis Wright's name has been changed from Smith to Wright. That's good.
Oh, well, he's Mr. Wright.
Yes. Okay, but Bill Dunn is also the supervisor of the township, so he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. The things that were on the itinerary was the Celebrate Seymour fireworks. They want approval
okay.
to be able to do that because you can't just shoot off fireworks willy-nilly, you know.
Willy-nilly.
Right? You have to have
So basically it's Parks and Rec asking the township whether they can do it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
Right.
if they can get a permit for it, that kind of thing, and approval, which they did.
And their fireworks, may I say, is spectacular.
Yeah, you're probably wondering when the fireworks are going to start this year, huh? The celebration. The Celebrate
Gosh, Elgin,
Seymour.
when are the fireworks?
Well, I just happen to have it here, and it's June 26th through the 28th. And you know what? You folks out there, you can get armbands for the little critters to ride all the different rides and so forth. They're $20 if you buy them at the gate. But if you go to the internet, parksrec.com, I think it is, you can only pay $17 for those bands. So it would behoove you to get
So what do you do? Print them out on your printer? But where do you get them if you get them on the web?
Well, you get them through Parks and Rec, you know, Oxford Parks and Recreation.
But you
Go
still have to go there to get the thing, or do you just pick it up at the gate?
I'm not sure if they print them there. I think they print them on your computer. I think that's you know.
No, they're
Let's just say they
adhesive little
do.
thingy. Oh, is this good for one day or all days?
Your armband is good for I think 3 days. I think it was last year.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we had the grandchildren in tow. You know, actually they had us in tow. If you know what I mean.
The little critters will sleep soundly after that.
Oh, did they ever? Yeah. But as a matter of fact, I don't think a couple of them made it through the fireworks.
Really?
Right.
Little
So
snoozers.
No, what it is, we worked their little tails off all day, riding all the rides, and then we took them to the fireworks. And they go, ooh.
No, go on that spinny thing again.
But anyway, it's fun for the grandchildren, fun for the family, and your grandparents. You love to see those grandchildren.
And
have
from
fun.
past experience, they do a wonderful job there. And they have a carnival, don't they?
They do. Well, how do you think the rides got there?
Well, that's true.
And the carnival company, I believe, they're from Bay City, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Which is
I
my
forgot what their
old
name
stomping
was.
grounds.
I
Yeah.
forgot what the name of the company was.
You know, I did too. But I actually knew the owners at one point. I met one of the owners, you know, over
What was
here,
his name?
and they recognized me.
What was his
I
name?
can't remember now. I don't know. I'll check it out this
All right,
year.
all
Are you
right.
going to the park?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
there
a
you
lot
are.
of fun. It's some of the best fireworks around. You can't have a bad view of the fireworks, the way
No.
they have it set up.
No. Anyway, we've covered that pretty good, I think. There is a resident that's lived in Oxford, I believe, since 1949, and he was concerned about a couple of things. That he wanted to get rid of brush in the area. You know, we had that big storm that came through here.
Oh, sure.
We had trees down and brush
Let's
that
see. First there was
disappeared.
the ice storm, then there was the windstorm. and-
Right. But that's a whole different subject. And anyway, so he was concerned that at one time he was able to cut the brush and give it to Parks and Rec, I think, at one time, and they disposed of it. Or they had a pickup service for it for the township. Well, one of the subjects that came up was if the township should purchase a chipper, you know, where you run.
Oh, yeah.
This is not an itty bitty little chipper for twigs. I mean, this thing takes pretty good sized logs, you know, through this thing.
Oh, sure. And
But-
the nice byproduct of that is it creates a heck of a lot of mulch.
It does. And there's got to be an outlet for that mulch. I would think they could sell that mulch or give it to the residents.
I
if
think in
nothing
Lake
else.
Orion, they deposit it all in one big pile and people can come and just shovel it into their trucks. I
You know,
believe.
I bet you that's what they do here too,
Yeah.
when they get a mulcher. But they don't have a
Right.
mulcher yet.
Oh,
But
there
this
you go.
guy said, hey, we need a mulcher. And Bill Dunn said, that's a good idea.
Did they throw a number at them?
They didn't yet, but they're going to check the cost
Okay.
and then get back with it. So, fire department, they stepped up. Pete Schultz, who's the fire chief, and he said that he needed to renew the contract for the ACU and Med, which is an ESO. Don't ask me what all those letters are, because I'm going to
ACU?
ask you.
Is it-
No, ESO, which is their emergency service, I guess.
Oh.
And anyway, the cost for that contract in the past has been $6,562. You know, Pete is a wheeler dealer. So he's now come up with a new...
What's the contract for exactly?
It's to provide equipment,
Oh.
for the emergency response.
Is it so much a contract as buying equipment?
Well, it's also software, that kind of thing, to support
Oh,
what they
okay.
do.
Okay.
For example, they need early information sent to the hospital. That's software that does that. And
That needs to be updated?
yeah,
Okay.
from time to time.
Oh.
But anyway, the whole
I'm
thing,
sure if you're the one riding in the ambulance, you'd like that to be updated.
unless there was another serious issue. But anyway, that being said,
I mean the passenger, not the driver.
oh, well, anyway, $6,562, and by the time Pete was through wheeling dealing with this firm that they've been doing business with, it's going to now cost $5,100 per year for a 5-year contract.
Not bad, Pete.
Very good. Good job, Pete. Anyway, he's always watching out for the money out there if he can.
man.
Yep. No fire sales, though. He just wants legitimate,
No
type
fire
things.
sales.
No fire sales.
Okay.
And anyway, they also, excuse me, Pete said that they're going to expand the ability to burn brush and that kind of thing to May 30th because of the wet season and the late season that we've had so far. You got to shake the snow off everything before you get to the brush.
Right,
And if the brush
right.
is dry, then you can burn it, but right now it's
And
kind of wet.
this basically extending the permit to burn for residents, right?
Right.
Okay.
And they did talk about the Stony Lake area. There were residents there, for the new building that they're thinking about building.
Yes.
Community
the,
center.
Community center / senior center / headquarters for Parks and Rec.
Right. And
Slash.
there were citizens there, and they had some pretty solid questions. And you know what? We'll discuss that when we come back
Very
right
good.
after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols,
And I'm Dave Kenny.
and we've been kind of beating the diddly out of Oxford Township Board of Trustees. And there's some interesting things going on. We left for the break. We were talking about
What did the residents around Stony Lake Park
Yes.
say?
about the new.
Community center.
There you go. Well, a couple folks stood up and they said, "Hey, we're this parking lot that you're going to put in, it's going to be right adjacent to my property. What kind of problem is that going to cause for me?" And of course, Ron Davis was there to answer questions, and he said, "Well, I don't think there will be any problems," but he said, "We're going to have several sessions," he said, "in which the residents can meet with us, and if there's any problems that you think might be problems or issues, we'll work those out at that time and make it satisfactory. Because we're not doing this because we love to build buildings, that kind of thing. It's because it has a benefit to the community, and if it's a benefit to the community, that means you too.
And
as
this
a
won't be
resident.
an arbitrary thing on the part of Parks and Recs, but it will be put up for a vote for the millage. Is it a millage or a bond?
It will be a millage.
For the residents to vote on come November or August?
This one will be in August, and if
Okay.
it fails, it'll be in November, more likely, in a different form.
Does this take the format of no, 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 yes, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and here it comes.
Only one yes is necessary.
Yeah,
Multiple no's don't count.
you got that right. And that was one of the questions they had: is what's the cost to the taxpayers for this building? Well, let me see. I kind of know an idea
I
on
thought
that
it
one.
was 25 mil, wasn't it?
Well, the whole thing is, yeah,
And
yeah,
500,000
20 million.
maintenance.
20 million.
20 million, but it was like
They'll be bonded.
500,000 running charges on it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not much. Small pittance.
To
Maybe
you,
not.
perhaps.
One of the problems or issues that they had, of course, is that the schools want to charge $97,000 for the Parks and Rec to continue the swimming program that they have for kids, throughout the summer months.
So
and
how many
forth.
people use like the pool at the school? Do they have a count as to how many
They do.
people that $97,000 would be distributed against?
Well, anyway, Ron Davis said, "How much?" I said,
Choke.
97,000. He goes,
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't think we have that kind of money, he said. They said, well, maybe we could negotiate. And Ron says, well, I think a lot of negotiating would be done. He said, we just can't afford that kind of money. And he said, so,
The same people that are using this are the same people that pay school taxes.
are you sure?
I think so.
That's probably why it rubs a few people a little wrong way. You
Yep.
know, it could be an issue there. Anyway, that being said, Ron says he's not intending to go that route. If the people choose to go to the community center, there will be a swimming pool that everybody can use
For a reduced price.
for no
or
price.
for free. For no
Unless
price.
you're out of the area.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'll pay, I think it's 3 point something in terms of mils. I don't recall what the exact amount was, but
Oh,
anyway, it's 6 mil, I think.
okay.
Something along that line. But anyway, that being said, people will have the advantage of having that center in which they can have community meetings for senior citizens. Kids can enjoy rooms that they have. There's a basketball court. All those
It
kind of
almost
things.
implies that right now that park closes up on Labor Day and opens up on Memorial Day, that there might be an inner gate kind of system.
That's still up for grabs yet. I'm not
Really?
exactly sure. I've seen some of the architectural drawings and site plans, they've developed, but they still have a little ways to go on that yet.
Yeah.
Then they talked about side roads that are gravel. And, in the summer months, there's big old white clouds coming behind cars, that-
You're talking about chloride, aren't you?
Yeah, you peaked.
I
you
did
peak?
not. I didn't
Okay,
peak.
all right, yeah, chloride. But
I induced. I
in-
deduced.
okay. The program runs like this: 50% participant of the owners, the property owners, and 50% from the township. So those that are interested in having regular chloride performed on the roads, get a hold of the township
Do you know how long a chloride treatment actually lasts?
till the next dry spell comes.
But it all gets washed away with the rain, right?
If it doesn't rain, you'll probably see more white clouds. And the problem is the white clouds or trees get coated with it, and homes get coated with it, which have windows, by the way.
Oh.
You do windows?
I
Oh,
don't do
okay,
windows,
that's a
no.
different subject. Okay, fire station, renovation of the fire station. They are going to require $425,000 for a addition that they're going to put on the firehouse.
Which will consist of what?
Well, it'll consist of a room for cooking and bunk room for the firefighters that are there usually roughly 24 hours a day.
What do they do now?
They sleep in a closet practically.
I think.
They s-
Standing up.
They sleep like horses. They stand up. Come on. And you have fun because you can come in and run real fast and push them over. Oh, those are cows you do that with.
So
right?
basically, it's more and better.
Yeah. So anyway, what came up is actually Jack Curtis brought it up. He says, we've got all this money, he says, in our general fund. he said, rather than have a tax levy, which is what Mr. Schultz was looking for.
But a tax levy is like ongoing,
Right.
whereas it's a one-time cost.
But he said, we need to have this done, and we'll propose a tax for it. And Jack Curtis says, well, we have this money. He says, why don't we just go ahead and use it? Bill Dunn says, hey, that's a good idea. He says, I like that. He said, I think we should do that.
So
And
does
guess
it-
what? They approved it.
Wonderful.
So
How
they
many? How
won't-
much money?
$425,000. So you, the
Wow.
taxpayers, won't have to have another push for tax, to have this done.
Seeing as you already paid for it.
Yeah, but memories are short. You forget
I
about
see.
that part. You look at the horizon. Oh,
But
here
through
comes the
good
tax.
management practices, they had the money available.
You got it. All right. Anyway, they did the right thing, I think, in doing this. They still are going to have to keep the existing millage that's on there, 3.5, which will now take care of a new truck, a truck that they need to have repaired, and a pump truck with, water needs work. So, should be all set there. And we'll talk about more when we come back
See you
right
then.
after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we, again, beat the diddly out of trustees meeting for the township, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And we're going to talk about now the Oxford Village Council. They talked about 98 Glassby Street, and they want to have a tax exemption benefit attached to that property
This
that they're
is
attempting
where
to sell.
this is where that manufacturing company wants to move in.
Yep.
Right.
It's a
Okay.
company called Puritan Magnetics. And they're interested in purchasing that property, but they have indicated to us on a subcommittee that they would like to have a tax
Abatement?
abatement. They don't call them abatements anymore. I think they
What do they call them? Giveaways?
exemptions.
No.
Call them exemptions. Anyway, that's what. Yeah, it changes. Talks like a duck, but
How
it
long
is.
would that exemption last, by the way?
Well, it depends on what they're going to do. For example, how many people are they going to employ?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of modifications or changes are they going to make to upgrade it? Lots of things come into play on that. And it
So-
can range anywhere from 2 years to 10 years, depending on how big the project is. Answer your question?
Sort of. It means also they haven't really come up with those details yet.
No, and they actually haven't made an offer, that's really solid yet. So it's still in negotiation.
This is the property that the village paid a lot of money for.
700,000, yes.
And they're getting how much?
Well,
Or would
this
get.
offer is 300,000, but
Okay,
they
all right.
probably won't settle on a 300,000 for this. We'll try to, of course, negotiate as much as we can for the residents out there. But anyway, let me see. Oh, they did talk about that little legal thing they got going with Pat Pad.
Boy, I thought that was all done.
No, it's been running for who knows how long.
So which way is it going? Is it Pat Pad suing the village, or is it the village going against Pat Pad? I forgot.
Both. Anyway, what's happening is she sued the village.
Yeah.
And evidence, or at least shows that it was a frivolous suit. And so the latest thing that's happened is our attorneys have made a motion to remove this suit, as frivolous. So
Remove her suit.
her suit. And we're not going to file suit other than our suit is that if a judge agrees to it, that she'll have to pay the legal fees,
So
everything
does
leading
this
up to
have
it.
any implication coming from the forensic audit that the village had done?
That's evidence that was put forward, to the judge as part of it. And by the way, the judge will rule on this. How long? Might take as long as a year. So,
The wheels of justice grind slowly.
Right. I know your slogan there. But anyway, so that's Pat Pad. Hopefully that'll get to a point where that issue will be resolved. The proposed budget. Oh, that's interesting. No new taxes for the village of Oxford.
Yay!
Yeah, 10.62. Joe Young says 10.62. We've had to scrape, cut, chainsaw and everything else to keep it down, but there will be no new taxes for this
And
coming
that's
year.
for the coming year.
That's for the coming year,
That is to say, the coming
right,
fiscal year,
fiscal year.
which is
Well, it'll be 2013-14.
January?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The other thing, though, is that the DDA in their budget has budgeted roughly the neighborhood of about $25,000 for a part-time person, and that looks like that's going to be a go.
So when are they going to be doing interviews?
Well, that's still not being done yet. They have to do a job description as to what this person will be doing, because it's not going to entail everything that the full-time person did.
Right.
It's a part-time. So, let me see.
By the way, relative to the village, are they still going to be doing concerts in the park this year?
Yes, they
Okay.
are.
Through what organization?
Well, actually, the DDA, Chamber of Commerce, is pitching in.
Okay.
A lot of the business people have donated monies in order to make this happen.
Wonderful.
There seems to be a pretty good spirit to core, going on. People are pitching in, and it's really refreshing to see. Burdick Street, can you say pothole?
Pothole?
Lots of potholes.
My car is like a pothole magnet.
I've heard rumors to that effect. But anyway, it's going to cost roughly $550,000 to repair that road. But
This is the Cemetery Hill, so-called.
yep,
Okay.
Cemetery Hill.
Which,
There's a-
by the way, has a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit going up that hill.
And by the
Probably
way,
coming down the hill,
people
too.
are still going 25, 30 miles an hour down the hill.
And they're paying the price.
They are, yes. Stones are flying, whatever, because they put stones in there right now. But anyway, so the village council has said under no uncertain circumstances that that road will be repaired. We'll find the money.
But this not only includes the repair, but they were also going to shave some of the height off the road at the top of the road.
This is the whole project.
Okay.
They're going to do everything required from a safety standpoint to make this happen, have it done right, is the way they're looking at it. Now, they do have $1 million in an account with the county.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that that's probably where part of the money will go until they can get grants and that kind of thing.
And I
you know,
understand
finance it.
that once that project starts, that section of road will be totally, completely,
Shut down.
absolutely closed off.
You're right. If you heard that rumor, it's a true thing. Also, they're going to have to deal with another area, and that's Edison East Alley, in which they have to put a new road through there. And if you
Okay.
recall, there's
can't-
Genesis is going to be building a building there in that area, and they need
Oh.
an access left turn in that area, which is bringing a problem because the road, the county road commission and MDOT, they're saying that you cannot have a left-hand turn on that road the way it's designed right now. So that's kind of an obstacle that they're working with.
Where is that relative? Is it off of 24?
It's off 24, yes.
Up by the Choo-Choos, I believe.
Choo-choo, chug-a-chug-chug,
Right.
yes.
Yeah,
Choo-choo.
okay. Choo-Choo chocolates.
Right, yes. And it's going to cost roughly for that part of the project about $270,000.
Is that going to necessitate a light or anything?
Yeah, there's going to be lights down there, additional light, for
Oh,
example, to
traffic.
control traffic.
Oh, they'll love that.
You got it. Well, what's coming up next?
Well, there's not that many meetings, but what I've got is on 4:30 at 6:30, the Oxford Area School Board will be meeting at the Oxford Middle School. And on May 5th at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals will meet, but check on that because sometimes they don't. And at 7:30 the same day, Addison Township Park Committee. And on 5/6, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission will meet at 7 o'clock.
Say, I've heard a rumor that Oxford Community Television is going to change channels for channel.
Why, yes,
For Charter.
and that's because Charter is, as of, well, it's the 21st today, and on the 22nd, Charter will be going full digital, which means that our channel, which used to be Channel 19, then became Channel 97, is now going to be Channel 189.
You think they'll find us?
I hope so.
Well, if we play peekaboo, they'll never find us. But anyway, hopefully they'll catch up to us at some point. If you have any questions, contact the station, though, and you can do that through a couple of different means.
Right, you can send us an email at manager@occtv.org or simply give us a call at 248-628-9658.
Yeah, and if this guy answers the phone, you probably hear a heavy breathing on the other end.
Hey, wait a
Just-
minute.
just don't pay all that kind of attention to them, you know.
That's only because I'm running myself ragged.
Yeah, right. Actually, he has been pretty busy along those lines. We keep him busy, like sweeping the floor. No,
Hey,
okay.
hey.
No, actually, he does accounting here, so that's good. Smart guy. Anyway, I'm Elgin Nichols,
And I'm Dave Kenny.
and we'll catch you next time for Minutes by Minute.
At Oakland County Parks and Recreation, we value what you value: family relationships, community connections, good health, environmental stewardship, and economic stability. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. For a home valued at $200,000, the homeowner pays less than $25 per year to support the Oakland County parks. With every generation, families create lifelong memories at Oakland County's award-winning parks. From exciting summer escapades and stories around the campfire to brisk fall walks on wooded trails and snowy winter outings, the outdoors beckons year-round. It's time to get up, get out, and get going at the Oakland County parks. Active recreation options abound. Cross-country ski or mountain bike on tree-lined trails. Scale the rock climbing wall. Get your kicks with soccer at several sports fields. Row or paddle a boat on 4 picturesque inland lakes. It's an easy journey. Most parks are just a short drive away. A quick tip: all our parks and golf courses end in Oaks. To find your favorite, just go to destinationoakland.com. Click to pick Oceans of Motion water parks at Red Oaks and Waterford Oaks, the Wint Nature Center at Independence Oaks, Teen Adventures, and even entertainment to go. When outdoor adventures on your list, there's fishing, beaches, boating, playgrounds, and seasonal hunting. The campgrounds at Addison Oaks and Groveland Oaks feel like being up north with plenty of recreation options. Want to get fit? Hit the trails. Oakland County Parks boasts more than 68 miles for strolling, walking, hiking and running, biking, or horseback riding. If the links are your lure, 5 golf courses, including Premier Course Lion Oaks, are conveniently located. Make Glen Oaks or White Lake Oaks your home course. Get an up-north feel at Springfield Oaks, or play a quick 9 at Red Oaks. Our recreation lineup rocks. Learn to swim. Experience an outdoor adventures camp. Take the fast track at BMX, or gain new lifelong skills. Everyone's included. Individuals with disabilities participate in dozens of adaptive opportunities, including a new fully accessible playscape, modified golf carts, and annual events. There's always something special going on at Oakland County Parks, whether it's a classic car show, the Oakland County Fair, a senior golf tournament, or the Ellis Barn Festival. Being green is an everyday practice with nature interpretive programs, wildlife habitat protection, reduction of invasive species, and stormwater management.